I want you to picture a morning that feels all too familiar. You wake up, open your eyes after a long night's sleep, soft sunlight peeks through the window, and everything feels quiet. You get out of bed, gently rub your knees, and walk to the kitchen. Like always, you make a cup of hot coffee, sit quietly at the table, and eat nothing. Maybe you've done this for decades, but I'm here to tell you, what seems like a harmless habit might actually be quietly stealing your muscle day after day. Did you know that just by skipping breakfast or drinking coffee on an empty stomach, your body can enter a state called catabolism? What does that mean? It means that instead of drawing energy from food, your body starts eating itself, breaking down muscle tissue to create fuel. The tricky part? This process doesn't hurt. There's no fever, no big warning sign, until one day you realize you're standing up slower, walking less steadily, or feeling that your calves get tired climbing just a few stairs. I had a patient, Jim, 67 years old, who came in with a slight limp. He said, "Doc, I don't know why, but I've been cramping at night lately, and every morning my legs feel stiff and hard to move. I eat just fine throughout the day." But when I asked about breakfast, he chuckled, "Oh, I just drink coffee. I've done that forever." And that was it. One small habit, one big impact. Now I want you to imagine this. After 7-8 hours of sleep, your body hasn't had any fuel. When you wake up, it's in a fasted state. And if you don't give it the right nutrients, it will pull energy from muscle, especially your leg muscles. But those leg muscles, they're your foundation. They're what help you walk, climb stairs, stand up without needing help. They're what give you independence in your daily life. Muscle doesn't just help you move. It helps keep you safe from falls. It keeps you stable when life throws the unexpected your way in these later years. And if we let it fade, slowly, bit by bit, we'll feel it, not just in our legs, but in our spirit too. But here's the beautiful part I want you to remember. Your body, even at 60, 70, or beyond, still has the ability to heal and rebuild, as long as you start the right way. And one of the simplest ways is this: don't skip breakfast. Eat something nourishing within 30 time. Today I invite you to rethink that. Because sometimes the things we don't see are the very things slipping away from us. And once they're gone, it takes a whole lot more to get them back. I'm not here to scold. I'm here to remind you of one thing. It's time to take care of yourself more intentionally. Not for anyone else, but for you. You've walked a long road, and you deserve to live the rest of your life strong, independent, and full of love for the body that's carried you this far. Let me tell you something most people don't notice until it's too late. After age 60, the easiest thing to lose in your body isn't your memory. It's not the quickness in your hands. It's your legs. More specifically, the muscle in your legs. Here's the strange part. Losing leg muscle doesn't hurt. There are no bruises, no warning bells. It happens quietly, like sand slipping beneath your feet, and you only realize it when the ground no longer feels steady. One day, you find yourself walking slower. You get tired more quickly at the grocery store. You try to squat down and realize you can't get back up without grabbing a chair. And maybe you think, well, I guess that's just aging. But I want you to know, it's not just aging. It's a sign that your muscles are slowly shrinking. I had a patient, Margaret, 72 years old, who came into my office one rainy afternoon. She said, "Doctor, I feel weak. I used to walk 20 minutes every morning. Now 10 minutes and I'm worn out." I ran some tests and found she had lost nearly 25% of her leg muscle mass compared to 5 years ago. No injury, no major illness, just slow loss, day after day. I asked her, "Have you ever focused on maintaining your leg strength?" She smiled shyly. "I just thought eating enough was enough." We often pay attention to our heart, our blood pressure, our sugar levels. But our legs, the very thing holding us up, often get forgotten. And the truth is, when you lose the strength in your legs, you begin to lose your independence. Do you still remember what it feels like to stand up from a chair on your own? To climb a stair without holding onto the rail? To open your front door and step out for a walk in the morning breeze, the sun hitting your face, and you feel alive? If you do, I want you to hold on. Many years, so many paths, so many memories. Don't let them fade away quietly. Start rebuilding them through breakfast, through light exercises, through patience, and through the belief that you still have the power to rebuild yourself. Do you remember those mornings from long ago when we were kids and a warm sweet potato was all it took to keep us full and happy until noon? I still remember that natural, earthy sweetness, simple, yet so nourishing. But today, I want you to see sweet potatoes in a new light, as a kind of healing food for your body after 60. One of my patients, Mr. Arthur, 68 years old, used to suffer from leg cramps in the middle of the night. So often, in fact, that he was afraid to stretch his legs while sleeping. He had tried all kinds of magnesium supplements, drank electrolyte water, even cut back on physical activity. But nothing helped. Until I asked him one simple question. "What do you have for breakfast?" He chuckled and said, "Black coffee. I'm not really hungry." I suggested, "How about starting your day with a steamed sweet potato? Sprinkle on a little Celtic or Himalayan salt. Just one small piece is enough." And you know what? 2 weeks later, he came back with a big smile. "Doctor, I slept 6 straight hours last night. No cramps at all." Sweet potatoes aren't just healthy carbs. They're rich in potassium, a crucial mineral for muscle and nerve function. When combined with natural mineral salts, which are packed with magnesium, calcium, and trace elements, they help restore electrolyte balance. That keeps your nervous system running smoothly, prevents cramping, and improves reflex sensitivity. You might ask, why not just use regular table salt? Because refined salt has had most of its natural minerals stripped away. Celtic or Himalayan salt, on the other hand, keeps more than 70 trace minerals your body needs, especially after 60, when our absorption and metabolism aren't what they used to be. Even more, having sweet potatoes in the morning helps keep your blood sugar stable. Unlike white bread or processed cereals that spike and crash your energy, sweet potatoes release energy slowly. That means less fatigue, less dizziness, and a clearer mind throughout the day. I want you to picture this. You start your day not with a cup of coffee that leaves your stomach churning, but with a warm, mineral-rich meal that helps your legs feel steady on the floor. No wobbling, no fear of out of bed. Or maybe you've wondered why you fell, even though all you did was stand up to pour a glass of water. That's not just age catching up to you. It's the quiet weakening of the small muscles in your legs, especially around your hips and front thighs, the very muscles that help with balance and coordination as you move. One of my patients, Mrs. Judith, 72 years old, once fell in the shower while shampooing her hair. Not because the floor was slippery, but because when she turned her body, her legs no longer had the strength to keep her center of gravity. That fall made her afraid to move, and the less she moved, the weaker her muscles became. It became a vicious cycle. I offered her one simple suggestion. Each morning, while brushing your teeth or waiting for water to boil, do a 2-minute leg lift exercise. She asked, "Do I need to go to the gym for that?" I smiled and said, "Not at all. Just a chair and a wall. All you need to do is stand upright, lightly hold the back of a chair, lift one leg straight in front of you, keeping the knee extended, then slowly lower it back down. Switch sides, 10 reps each leg. As you get more comfortable, you can try lifting the leg out to the side or behind you. These small movements wake up the balance muscles, ones we often forget to train." 2 weeks later, Judith told me, "I feel more confident walking up the stairs now. I'm not afraid of falling like before." See, no fancy equipment needed, just consistency, patience, and faith in the power of small, intentional actions. I get it. After 60, no one wants to be seen as getting weak or needing help. But taking charge of your own morning routine is exactly how you protect your independence. It's how you hold on to your dignity, your freedom to live the life you choose, without fear of falling or depending on others. I want you to picture this: a gentle morning light coming through your window. You rise slowly, do a few leg lifts, and feel that you're still in control of this body. That feeling, no pill in the world can give you that. Have you ever noticed that after turning 60, you don't walk as fast as you used to? That the feeling of leg fatigue sets in sooner, even after a short walk? Maybe even just standing in the kitchen too long makes you want to sit down for a break? I want to share a truth with you, one that many people overlook. Your calf muscles are among the just don't want to move. We ran some tests, and just as I suspected, he had lost nearly 20% of his leg muscle mass in just over a year of low activity. Not because of illness, not just because of age, but because his body stopped getting the message. Hey, we still need these muscles every day. That's the tragedy of muscle loss. It's not painful like a broken bone. It's not obvious like a sprained joint. But once you let it happen, it slowly takes away pieces of your independence, your ability to walk, to care for yourself, or even just to step outside for some fresh air. I often ask my patients, if you want to still go grocery shopping at 70, travel on your own, or simply take your grandchild to the park, what are you doing today to protect your legs? The answer isn't expensive equipment or extreme workout programs. It's awareness and small daily actions. A little bit of the right nutrition, a few minutes of regular movement, a smart choice to protect your legs and your freedom. Remember, muscle loss doesn't hurt, but it quietly steals your freedom, one step at a time. And you are the only one who can choose to let it happen, or stop it, starting today. I want you to imagine this for a moment. In just 8 weeks, yes, about 2 months, you could regain up to 35% of your leg strength without taking any medication, without going to the gym, simply by changing your breakfast. Sounds almost too easy, doesn't it? But it's true, and I've seen it happen, not just once, but in hundreds of older patients I've worked with. One woman named Dorothy, 72 years old, came to see me. She walked slowly, always keeping one hand on the back of a chair for support. She said, "Doctor, I really don't want to use a walker, but every morning when I wake up, it feels like all the strength in my legs is gone." We didn't start with heavy workouts. Instead, I told her, "Dorothy, we're going to start with breakfast." I had her swap out her usual breakfast, white bread, sugary jam, and coffee, for a meal rich in high-quality protein, healthy fats, and essential minerals. We added boiled eggs, Greek yogurt, oatmeal with chia seeds, and a little fresh fruit. Nothing fancy, just eaten at the right time, within an hour of waking up. After 8 weeks, Dorothy came back with a huge smile. She said, "I'm not just walking better. I can now stand in the kitchen." Refined sugar. The results? An average improvement of 30 to 35% in leg strength in just 2 months without adding any supplements. I'm telling you this not to make you think, it's too late for me. I'm telling you so you understand, as long as tomorrow morning exists, you still have a chance. Don't underestimate breakfast. For older adults, it's not just a meal. It's a quiet promise you make to your own body. Today, I'll be stronger than yesterday. I want you to imagine this. A quiet morning, soft sunlight streaming through the window. You sit down with a small bowl. Inside is warm, gently cooked oatmeal with a splash of almond milk, sprinkled with a few spoonfuls of chia seeds, topped with slices of banana or fresh berries. Nothing fancy, but behind that simple meal lies something quite magical for your muscle health. Now some might ask, just oats and tiny chia seeds, how can that possibly help? The answer? A whole lot more than you think. Oats are one of the purest forms of complex carbs. They release energy slowly, help stabilize blood sugar levels, and provide beta-glucan, a type of fiber that reduces inflammation and supports heart health. Chia seeds, though tiny, are packed with plant-based omega-3s, protein, antioxidants, and minerals like magnesium, calcium, and potassium. Nutrients that support healthy nerve-muscle communication, reduce cramps, and help repair small muscle tears. I once had a patient, Linda, 72 years old. She often complained of feeling drained every morning. She'd either grab white bread or skip breakfast entirely. When I suggested trying oatmeal with chia, she frowned. "I'm not really the seed-eating type, doctor." But I walked her through soaking chia seeds overnight, mixing them into cooked oats, adding a touch of honey and cinnamon. She gave it a try. 2 weeks later, she came back smiling. "I feel completely different. No more morning fatigue. I'm walking farther, and my legs feel stronger." No pills, no supplements, no fancy spending. Just a small shift, starting with the first spoonful of the day. Here's what I want you to remember. Strong legs aren't just built in the gym. They're nourished from the inside, through every bite you take. And the oatmeal chia combo is one of the best allies your legs can have after age 60. If you haven't tried it yet, give yourself that chance. Legs getting weaker even though I'm not really sick. I've heard those exact questions from many of my older patients. One patient, Richard, 68 years old, had the habit of starting each day with 2 slices of white toast and a cup of black coffee, no sugar. "Doctor, I think I'm eating pretty healthy, he'd say with a smile. But the reality was, just a few minutes into his morning walk, his legs would start to feel weak, he'd lose balance easily, and standing for a while made him feel shaky. And I don't blame him, because this isn't about effort. The problem is that some foods, which seem harmless, are slowly draining your energy without you even noticing. White bread, for example, looks light and simple, but it's made of refined carbs, stripped of fiber, B vitamins, and essential minerals. It causes a sudden spike in blood sugar, pushing your insulin up, then crashes it down fast, leaving you drained. And here's the key point. This blood sugar roller coaster affects your muscle strength directly. Your leg muscles need steady energy to function, not short bursts followed by crashes. And black coffee on an empty stomach? Sounds healthy, doesn't it? But coffee stimulates your adrenal glands to release cortisol, the stress hormone. In the morning, your cortisol levels are already naturally high. Add coffee without food, and you push your body into catabolism, a state where it breaks down muscle tissue for fuel. What does that mean? It means your trusted cup of coffee may actually be silently wearing down your leg strength, especially after 60. Now, I'm not saying you have to give it up completely, but if you truly care for your body, if you honor the legs that have carried you across thousands of miles through life, then you can start with something simple. Eat breakfast before your coffee. Swap white bread for whole grain, or better yet, oatmeal, sweet potatoes, or eggs. It's a small change, but one that makes a big difference. And soon, you may feel what many of my patients have experienced. Waking up without fatigue, less shakiness in your legs, more confidence in your steps. Because now, you're nourishing your body, not accidentally depleting it like before. I want you to picture this. It's a quiet Sunday morning. You're sitting by the kitchen window, soft sunlight filtering through the curtains, and the smell of seared salmon fills the air, mixed with fresh dill and a few thin slices of lemon. That meal isn't just her weekend breakfast, just once or twice a week. A small portion of pan-seared salmon paired with leafy greens or sweet potatoes. 2 months later, she returned with a brighter look in her eyes, and the first thing she said was, "Doctor, guess what? My legs feel strong again. I can get up from the sofa without using my hands." So what made the difference? Salmon, especially wild-caught or naturally farmed, is packed with omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats have been proven to reduce inflammation in muscle tissue. And inflammation, as you probably know, is the silent enemy of aging. It weakens your muscles, stiffens your joints, and sometimes makes something as simple as walking outside feel intimidating. But there's more. Salmon is also rich in high-quality protein, especially leucine, an essential amino acid that helps kickstart the process of muscle repair and growth. In other words, salmon isn't just food, it's a message to your body. It's time to rebuild and renew. Here's something else that's fascinating. Omega-3s help increase insulin sensitivity. That means your muscles absorb nutrients from food more effectively. And for anyone over 60, that's the key to preserving muscle, even without intense workouts. Now, I'm not saying you need to eat salmon every day, just once or twice a week, for breakfast, seared gently in olive oil with a few sprigs of herbs. That alone can do something beautiful for your body. Sometimes, healing doesn't come from complicated plans. It comes from a simple meal, at the right time, done with care, and filled with love for yourself. I want you to pause for a moment and think about your legs. How many roads have they walked you through in life? From peaceful strolls along the beach to standing for hours caring for your grandkids, or simply walking through the grocery store and thinking to yourself, "I've still got it." But those very legs, if not cared for properly, can grow weaker day by day. And the scariest part? It happens quietly. No pain, no warning. Until one morning, you realize it takes longer to stand up. You wobble a bit, and you need to grab onto something just to keep your balance. I once had a patient, Mr. Harold, 68 years old. He didn't go to the gym, didn't jog, but he loved his morning gardening routine. One day he slipped, not because of anything serious, in my clinic. You know what's even better? He felt confident again, more stable, no longer afraid to step back into his garden. Many studies have shown this. Even after 60, your body can rebuild muscle, if it's triggered the right way in the morning. Because after a long night without food, your body is starving for nutrients. And if you skip breakfast or eat poorly, Your system starts breaking down muscle to find energy. That's why I call breakfast a biological launch pad. It's not just a habit, it's a recovery strategy. You don't need anything extreme. Just change the way you start your day. Eat the right foods at the right time and stick with it for a few weeks. I know you can do this. Not to become a bodybuilder, but so you can rise from your chair with strength, walk down the stairs steadily, and live each ordinary day without needing anyone's arm to lean on. And I truly believe the right breakfast can be the start of a life that's steady, strong, and beautifully independent. I want you to picture this morning. You've just woken up, soft sunlight slipping through the curtains, and you step out of bed, your legs still feeling a bit unsteady. Your body's a little sluggish after a long sleep, and now you're deciding how to start your day. Most people reach for coffee. Some skip food altogether. But your body, after 8 hours without nutrients, is urgently asking for something to restart. That's when I want to bring up one small but powerful food: Greek yogurt. You've probably seen it sitting quietly on a shelf at the store, tucked between rows of dairy. But inside is a perfect combination of casein, a slow-digesting protein that fuels your muscles for hours after you eat. This is especially important after age 60, when muscle loss speeds up and natural recovery slows down. I once spoke with a patient, Linda, 72 years old. She had mild osteoporosis and often felt her legs were tired by the end of the day. When I reviewed her food diary, nothing looked wrong, but her breakfast wasn't doing enough to support her muscles and bones. So we added just one thing to her mornings: a serving of plain Greek yogurt, unsweetened, topped with banana slices or a few blueberries. 3 months later, she told me, "I don't feel as weak in my legs anymore. Grocery trips are easier. Even my back doesn't ache like it used to." Why the difference? Because the expensive kind, doctor? I'll say this: no. Just choose plain, unsweetened, low-fat. That's enough. Think of breakfast as an investment, not just for today, but for your ability to walk freely, live independently, and stay in control 5 or 10 years from now. Have you ever woken up in the morning, and the moment you try to sit up, your head feels light, like the whole room just spun around for a second? You have to grab the edge of the bed or lean against the wall for a few seconds until everything settles down. I know that feeling well, and I also know many people brush it off as just part of getting older. But my friend, don't accept it as fate too quickly. The truth is, when you stand up too fast right after waking, your blood pressure may not adjust in time. Blood flow to your brain might drop, causing dizziness, lightheadedness, and if you're not careful, a sudden fall. I once treated a gentleman named George, 76 years old. He was still healthy, cooked for himself, took morning walks. But one day, he fell in his bedroom. Not because he slipped, not because he tripped on anything, just because he stood up too quickly after waking. The result? A mild hip fracture that took over a month to heal. I'm not sharing this to worry you, but to remind you that after age 60, our bodies need to be treated with more patience. I often teach my patients a simple habit. When you wake up, don't jump out of bed right away. Stay lying down for 1 to 2 minutes. Gently rotate your wrists and ankles. Then slowly sit up, place your feet on the floor, and take a few deep breaths. Only then, stand up and begin your day. Just those few minutes in the morning can give your circulatory system, nervous system, and balance time to adjust, preparing you for a safer, steadier start. This small habit can prevent up to 80% of bedroom-related falls, according to multiple clinical studies in the US. I often tell my patients, we don't have to outrun time, we just have to walk with it, more wisely. And sometimes, that wisdom begins with how you get out of bed each morning. I want you to picture a simple morning. You wake up, sunlight gently streaming through the window, and on the kitchen counter, there's a perfectly ripe banana waiting for you. Not too special, right? But to muscles, especially as we age. Bananas are rich in potassium, a crucial mineral that helps carry nerve signals, supports smooth muscle contractions, and prevents muscle spasms. Especially in the calves, the area that often loses muscle and cramps the most after 60. And it's not just potassium. Bananas also contain vitamin B6 and fiber, helping you maintain steady energy all morning without causing sudden spikes in blood sugar like other breakfast foods. Half a banana in the morning, with a little Greek yogurt or oats, is the perfect way to start your day feeling balanced, light, and strong from the inside out. And remember, after 60, your body doesn't need too much. It just needs the right things at the right time. Sometimes a small banana can be the difference between a good night's sleep or a painful leg cramp at 2 a.m. I want you to picture this. Imagine you're standing in front of the mirror one morning, not just to look at the silver in your hair or the lines on your face, but to take a good, honest look at your legs. Did you know that without the right nutrition and movement, we can lose up to 33% of our leg muscle mass every decade after age 60? And the scary part is, this loss happens quietly. It doesn't hurt. There's no clear warning sign. Until one day, you stand up from a chair and realize you're not as steady as you used to be. Even a small step feels shaky. I remember once Mr. Richard, 72 years old, came to see me after falling in his kitchen. "Doc," he said, "I didn't think I was getting weaker until I couldn't get back up." It broke my heart. But his story isn't unique. The truth is, leg strength is the foundation of independence. It lets you go for a walk, shop for groceries, hug your grandkids, or simply stand steady in your own home. And the good news is, the body can still recover, even at 60, 70, or even 80. But the key is, you have to start today. You don't need to train like an athlete. You don't need fancy meals. You just need to understand your body and care for it through every breakfast, every step, every gentle leg lift. Ask ChatGPT.